Our next word, approached. Approached. What does it mean to approach something? So what does it mean to approach something? So to approach something, it simply means that you come near to it or you come in close distance to it, right? So when you approach something, it means that you go towards it or you come near it or close to it or you focus on it. Our next word, young, young. What does the word young mean? What does the word young mean? If you say something is young or someone is young, what does it mean? It means that that thing has been around for a short time, right? So that thing has only lived for a short time or exists for a short time. So when you're young, um, more or less, you would be like a junior to um others around you, or you would still be treated a lot like a child to others around you. Um, because you are still in your early stage of life. So to be young, it means that you are in your early stage of life or you have only lived um, a short um, time period. So you're only existing for a short time when you're young. Okay, our next word, charming. And we know that charming is a word that we hear a lot about in English. When someone is charming, it simply means that that person is attractive or pleasant or delightful, or that person is likable, or that person is cute or sweet, or that person is adorable, or that person is captivating or inviting. These are some of the words that we can use to also mean the same as charming. In English these days, people would use other words like smashing. So they would say you're smashing or you're nice as pie when you're charming. Those are some of the words that people would use to speak about you being charming. Or they would say you're good looking or you're lovely. All right. Our next word, fisherman. Fisherman. Who is a fisherman? So a fisherman is someone who earns their living by catching fish. They earn their living by catching fish and selling fish. So a fisherman would be someone who provides fish for us to eat. That person would be a person that catches or sells a fish. I'm sure that you know a fisherman. I'm sure that you know a fisherman. All right. Our next word, greeted. 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 What does it mean to greet someone? Think about what it means to greet someone, the root word. Greeted. Greeted. So let's say yesterday I greeted my sister. So when you greet someone, it simply means that you say hello to them or that you address them, or it means that you give them a very polite welcome or a polite word when you greet them. So, for example, when you're meeting someone for the first time and you acknowledge that you recognize the person, you would greet them. You can say hello, you can say good morning, you can ask, how are you doing? All those, they're a form of greeting someone. So to greet someone, it simply means to meet them and to um, welcome them or to exchange pleasantries with them. So you say hello and all that. That is the exchanging pleasantries with them. All right. Our next word, warmly. Warmly. So at first we did the word warm here. So if we remember this word, it should have been easy for us to get the word warm. And then we add ny, warmly. So when something is warm, we said that that is something that is not too hot or something that is not too cold, that this thing is in between. So warmly would mean the same thing. However, warmly would just show the adverb. It would tell us how something was done. Okay? How something is done. All right. Our next word is the word would. 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 And this word, it's actually an action word, the past tense for the word will. The past tense for the word will. The next word, like, like. And, like is a very popular English word. To like something simply means that um, you are fond of it, or this thing is pleasant to you, or you're pleased with it. Also, when something is like, it means that, or alike, it means that it is the same or it is similar. So like can mean when something is the same or similar. Or when something is um nice or something you are fond of or something that is pleasant to you or something that you enjoy, you would say that you like. Our next word, join, 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 join. So when you join something, it simply means that you connect with it or you are linked to it or you are attached to it or you are added to it. Or we can say that you're fastened to it or you glued to it or you're knitted to it or you're bonded to it. So all those words can mean the same as join or you're bind to it. All right. Our next word, trip. Trip. Guys, I'm so sorry. That's a plane passing in our background. I'm so sorry for the plane noise. So our next word is trip. Trip. So when you are on a trip, it simply means that you are on an outing, on a journey, or that you are actually out having fun when you are on a trip. Our next word, nearby. Nearby. When something is nearby, it simply means that it is close or it is within a close distance or it is something that is not too far away that you would call it nearby. We have already done this word island in our first page. An island is piece of land that is surrounded by water. An island is a piece of land that is surrounded by water. And we said that Hawaii is an island, and so too the Caribbean has lots of different islands. So for you to understand what an island is, it would be good to look at those to understand that it is a piece of land that has water around it. All right, guys. So now that we have done all the words, we're going to be reading the words word by word. Then we're going to get up to phrases, then on to sentences. So let's go first with word by word. Ready to go, guys? Well, without any hesitation, let's go. The very first day, she strolled along the beach, feeling the warm sand scorching between her toes. She headed towards the secluded spot where a dingy boat was anchored. Curious, she approached it and saw a young, charming fisherman who greeted her warmly. Would you like to join me for a trip to the nearby islands? He asked. And remember, we were just reading using word by word. Now we're going to be reading using phrases, which means we're going to build up to read in phrases where we read a couple of words together to understand the context of the story. Let's go ahead and do that. The very first day, she strolled along the beach, feeling the warm sun scorching between her toes. She headed towards the secluded spot where a dingy boat was anchored. Curious, she approached it and saw a young, charming fisherman who greeted her warmly. Would you like to join me for a trip to the nearby islands? He asked. Good. So what we just did, we just read in phrases, which means that it will help us to understand each part of our text. Now we're going to be reading right through it fluently. So now is for our fluency. Go ahead and practice with me. Try your best to read as fluent as you can. We're going to start out at a moderate pace. Then we are going to pick up our pace for our next reading, okay? So let's go ahead. The very first day, she strolled along the beach, feeling the warm sand scorching between her toes. She headed towards the secluded spot where a dingy boat was anchored. Curious, she approached it and saw a young, charming fisherman who greeted her warmly. Would you like to join me for a trip to the nearby islands? He asked. All right, so that was not too fast. That was at a moderate pace. So now we're going to be picking up our pace. I want you to try your best to remember all the words that we have studied. Okay? The words that you found very difficult to call, those are the words that you're going to try to remember now so that you can read through the text fluently. If you're ready to do it, type ready in the comment section. If you're ready to do it, type ready in the comment section. Guys, I love to see from you guys when you guys type ready and you guys are really all up to it. All right, let's go. So we are going to be reading now and we're going to try to be fluent. We're going to try to pick up our pace to read at a faster pace. Let's go. The very first day, she strolled along the beach, feeling the warm sand scorching between her toes. She headed towards the secluded spot where a dingy boat was anchored. Curious, she approached it and saw a young, charming fisherman who greeted her warmly. Would you like to join me for a trip to the nearby islands? He asked. All right. If you guys were able to manage that, that was good. Let's read it one more time just for you to have it all to expect. Are you ready to go? Take a deep breath in and then let's begin. I know you can do this, but so let's go. Let's go now. The very first day, she strolled along the beach, feeling the warm sand scorching between her toes. She headed towards the secluded spot where a dingy boat was anchored. Curious, she approached it and saw a young, charming fisherman who greeted her warmly. Would you like to join me for a trip to the nearby islands? He asked. If you made that guys, you did extremely well. Guys, so we have come to an hour of reading. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go back from the beginning and we're going to read from the top and we're going to be reading our two pieces of text together and then we might attempt to answer some questions if we have enough time. All right, guys, if you're interested in that whole segment of answering questions, you should let me know so I can always remember to ask you guys questions and we do questions and answers. That would help you with improving your comprehension if you guys are also interested in that. Remember, you don't just want to back up words, but you want to also be able to um, learn words in terms of their vocabulary and be able to really read fluently in a way that you can master your comprehension and everything that goes with reading. Remember, reading is not just about calling words. You want to understand what you're reading to. All right, so we're going to begin from the top and let's see how this will go. Let's see, guys. Are you ready? You think you're ready? Yeah, I think you're ready. So just type ready in the comment section and let's go. Let's begin. Shane had deliberately planned her vacation fastidiously. She was going to spend a week in Hawaii, enjoying the sun, black sand, and sea. She had booked a luxurious resort and lots of island tours. She packed her swimsuit and was ready for some much needed relaxation. The very first day, she strolled along the beach, feeling the warm sand scorching between her toes. She headed towards the secluded spot where a dingy boat was anchored. Curious, she approached it and saw a young charming fisherman who greeted her warmly. Would you like to join me for a trip to the nearby islands? He asked. How was that, guys? How do you feel? Do you feel confident? I'm thinking you should feel very confident about your reading because that was good. Let's try it one more time and let's try our best to have it all together. All right. So remember, we're going to start from the top and we're going to try to read it all together. I know you can do it. So I'm looking forward for you doing it. So let's begin. Type ready in the comment section. Let's get to it. All right, let's go ahead and read from the top. Jane had deliberately planned her vacation fastidiously. She was going to spend a week in Hawaii, enjoying the sun, black sand, and sea. She had booked a luxurious resort and lots of island tours. She packed her swimsuit and was ready for some much needed relaxation. The very first day, she strolled along the beach, feeling the warm sand splashing between her toes. She headed towards the secluded spot where a dingy boat was anchored. Curious, she approached it and saw a young, charming fisherman who greeted her warmly. Would you like to join me for a trip to the nearby islands? He asked. What do you guys think? Do you think that was good? Do you think that you have it all together? What do you think? So we can ask some questions. What did Jane do on her first day? What did Jane do on her first day? We can even ask how many things did she do on her first day? So she did two things on her first day. So we can answer by saying Jane did two things on her first day. And then we can say the two things that she did. So we can say the two things that Jane did on her first day are she strolled along the beach, feeling the warm sand scorching between her toes, and she headed towards the secluded spot where a dinghy boat was anchored. She approached it and saw a young charming fisherman who greeted her warmly. All right, so that would be our answer. We can ask, how did Jane feel when she saw the dinghy boat? How did she feel? All right, so we can say that she felt curious. She felt curious. Jane felt curious when she saw the dinghy boat. What does the word dinghy mean? We've covered the word dinghy, so you should know what it means by now. What does it mean? So dinghy, it means small, it means dull, gloomy, it means something that might be muddy or something that might be dirty. We have all those words to describe dinghy. Also, we can ask the question, how did Jane feel as she walked along the beach or as she strolled along the beach? How did she feel? Okay, so we can say that Jane felt the warm sand scorching between her toes. All right. And our next question we can ask, where did the fisherman want to take Jane? So where did the fisherman want to take Jane? So the answer would be the fisherman wanted to take Jane to the nearby islands. The fisherman wanted to take Jane to the nearby islands. All right. If you were able to answer all those questions, you did an awesome job, which means you comprehended the story very well. Let's ask the questions from the first part of the story. Let's ask the questions from the first part of the story. So we are going to be reading it again one more time, then we're going to answer the questions. Jane had deliberately planned her vacation fastidiously. She was going to spend a week in Hawaii, enjoying the sun, black sand, and sea. She had booked a luxurious resort and lots of island tours. She packed her suitcase and was ready for some much needed relaxation. All right, so let's ask the questions now. Where was Jane going to spend her week? Where was Jane going to spend her week? How would we answer in a sentence? And you guys can type the sentence in the comment section, or you can come up on screen to answer the questions. That would be so nice. If you want to come up on screen, guys, you just press the link in the comment section to come up on screen to answer the questions. You don't have to show your camera, you can just use your voice. It would be great talking to you guys. So to answer, Jane was going to spend her week in Hawaii. Jane was going to spend her week in Hawaii. All right, our next question. What was Jane hoping to do in Hawaii? What was Jane hoping to do in Hawaii? The text did not tell us about doing, but the text gave us clues to know that she would be doing some things. So what did Jane hope to do in Hawaii based on what the text tells us? What are some of the things that she would be doing? All right, so to answer, some of the things that Jane would do in Hawaii include enjoy the sun, the black sand, and sea. She would also go on island tours and she would go to the beach. These were some of the things that she planned to do. How do we know that she was going to go to the beach? It did not tell us that she was going to the beach, but it gives us clues that she was going to the beach. What clue did the story give us to know that Jane was going to the beach? So the clue that the story gives us is that she packed her swimsuit. It also gives us the clue that she was going to enjoy the sun, the black sand, and the sea. These are the clues that we have that she was going to the beach. And then we heard that she had booked a lot of island tours. So the tours would be where she visits a lot of places for pleasure. Good. So those are some of the things that Jane was hoping to do in Hawaii. And most of all, they would bring about relaxation. So all these things would bring about relaxation. She would get to relax herself. All right. What other questions can we ask? How long was Jane going to Hawaii for? How long was Jane going to Hawaii for? And this is right there in the text. Right there in the text. So Jane was going to Hawaii to spend a week. So Jane was going for a week. A week has how many days? If we do not want to say a week, what can we say? We can say that she was going for 7 days because a week is 7 days. A week is how many days? 7 days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's a normal week. But then a week can be done from Tuesday to Tuesday. So it can also be done like that too. But a normal week would be from Sunday to Saturday. And a normal week could include 7 days. All right. How did Jane plan her vacation? How did she plan her vacation? So she planned her vacation deliberately, which means she planned her vacation with all intention and with all carefulness, being very thoughtful to think of the things that she would do and how she was going to do them. And so she would make the arrangements